Hello everyone, my name is Leonard Request. So today we're going to be talking about the job of being a journalist and editors. So whenever you guys read newspapers, have you guys ever wondered on how do people write such amazing, concise, yet dramatic and very clickbaiting articles, yet still being very concise, being very true, not biased. The grammar is totally perfect. Paragraphing, everything is just so amazing. Now, have you guys ever wondered how? How are those passages so perfect? It's not just because the people that collect the news write them up or does anything, but there's a specific job for that, which is called as journalists or specifically editors. Now, the job of being an editor is under the umbrella of art. So under the umbrella of art overall. And art, there are a lot of forms of arts. There could be visual arts, there could be sounds art, there could be different types of arts, but editors here, they are a part that creates up visual arts or arts that viewers can view for themselves and they can judge by themselves. Okay, and so when you are opting to become an editor, then it is very related to the news, right? Because a lot of the time your job is to edit through articles, edit through news, and edit through like all of those forms of information. So that is your job of being an editor. Now, what skill sets would you need to prepare yourself if you really want to step your footings into this field job? Now, the first thing that you need to do is it requires you to have very good literacy skills. So you need to be able to know a pretty wide range of vocabulary. It does not have to be advanced academic vocabularies, but it has to be general life vocabularies that is opting for describing these different forms of news, right? So if you're being a specialist in editing like news of like celebrities like that, then you should opt for like a more friendly friendly viewer language. Or if you're opting to become a news editor, then in like fields such as like emergencies or like drama, conflicts, policies like that, and it's very important that you adapt a more academic form of writing. But it's very important that you understand all of them, right? Because when you're becoming an editor, it's not just oh, you can pick what you do, right? Because a lot of time you do for different news leads, and different news leads will have different forms of news outlets. So that's why it's very important that you have a good range of vocabulary. Next, you should have a great cohesive writing skills, because again, news article, they must take up like maximum 10 minutes of time reading, right? Usually it's just be like 2 to a 5 minute time of reading an article, and people would not want to watch something that's not concise or that's too lengthy, right? So it's your job as the editor to also make sure to up the article to become more concise. And also it's very important to make sure you cover all information without being biased. You fix the grammar skills, you fix everything. That's just like that. Now there are two ways for you to there are a lot of ways for you to do this job, but usually you can do this job in a lot of forms of like majors that you learn, right? You can learn literature and you can still be an editor, or you can learn journalism or arts, basically. So as long as you learn something that's related to being an editor, or you learn something that really showcase your ability to write, then that means you're qualified enough for being an editor. Now, being an editor, you can do a lot of things. You can either join a news outlet, you can either join like a news company and write for them, like only, or you can be a freelancer. So you can pick up job yourself, you can pick up jobs by yourself. Now, how do you apply into being a job editor? Now, whenever you're becoming whenever you're applying for a job as an editor, you're going to be going through task oriented interviews. So they're not going to just ask you about your potentials or things like that in a normal interview, right? But they're going to give you task-based interview, which means that they probably give you like a sample writing, and your job is to edit that. You may not edit it in like the best way that they would opt for the news outlet, because again, you don't know what is their style, right? But they would look through how you fix that double writing and know if whether or not do you have potential for them to train, or whether or not do you fit with their curriculum. And that is how you can pick up an editor job. So remember, the job of editor is a very interesting job. If you are ever interested in literature, in arts, in news, remember this job is a very, very good job for you. Thank you and goodbye.